Greetings guys, Si here and welcome to yet another episode on Project Left. So proper exciting day today. Today's the day we're going to find out what is going on with my swing left-handed. So I'm going to hit 20 shots with my 6-iron, 20 shots with my driver without looking at any of the data. Then we're going to sit down and digest it all, see what comes out. So, yeah, let's have some music. 1, 2, 3, go. So let's have a look at those numbers. Gonna start with 6-iron first, and as previously mentioned, strike is going to be the biggest issue for me to start with. The striking is the hardest thing so far. Strike is the biggest issue that I'm facing at the start of this journey. Strike is still the biggest issue. I have not got a consistent strike of the golf ball. Therefore, all the other parameters kind of mask themselves into insignificance because the strike is so bad. But there are certain things that I can do, that I need to do, that will help me improve. So let's start with 6-iron first of all. My angle of attack averaged out there at -2.3. That is not quite good enough for me left-handed at 6'4" and a bit. So as you guys know, I took a massive divot right-handed, and I take hardly any divot left-handed, certainly not with the longer irons. There are many contributing factors to that, but the angle of attack is too shallow. I need to work on just striking down a little bit more, maybe only a couple of degrees more, but certainly need to get those strikes down a little bit. That will help with the tops, that will help with the thin missed strikes, and that will certainly get a little bit more distance for me. Also, the lie angle is out. Now I am presenting roughly 2 degrees toe down. That'll point the loft of the club over to the left, and that'll encourage that fade swing and that right to left movement. Now, those clubs weren't fitted for me. Now I've done this initial test, I'm going to bump the lie angles up a couple of degrees and see if that helps. Now, we don't always need to change the equipment. My swing is going to develop, but in the short term, just cranking those clubs up a couple of degrees, certainly those irons, is going to help a lot. So moving on to club path, and it was a little bit out to in, a little bit pointing over to the right with the club path. That is going to encourage that right to left movement, that fade, and in conjunction with that toe up and the face a little bit pointing to the left, those things all encourage that right to left movement that I have been seeing early on. Certainly misses to the left are more prevalent than misses to the right at the moment with my irons. Basically the club face control is okay. I'm pretty happy with it where I am at the moment, but as always, these things need to evolve. It's interesting with the club face how generally it points pretty much square to slightly to the left, and then every now and then I get one that's massively pointed to the right. Obviously that is going to be a reaction to seeing balls going over to the left, but it's something that I'm going to continue to need to work on. Okay, moving on to driver, and again, yes, strike is the biggest issue. And again, angle of attack, it isn't quite upward enough for me with the other parameters. The club path was pretty good, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with that. And again, the lie angle wasn't quite toe up enough to what I would like to see with a driver. Hence the loft does point a little bit left, and it encourages that right to left curvature that, again, I have been seeing on the drivers. Certainly most of my misses have been across to the left with the drivers so far. All in all, I'm pretty happy with where I am based on the fact that it's 3 weeks in. Obviously my expectations aren't particularly high at the moment, and that helps me to kind of rationalise all the numbers that I see. But I wanted to get a second opinion for this video. I wanted you guys to actually see what somebody else thought about my golf swing. So I contacted Justin Sandler. He is one of the best Foresight instructors in the UK, in my opinion. He does work for Foresight, but he knows this data from this GC2 HMT inside out. And he was very kind enough to take a look over my data numbers to see what I produced, and in his opinion what I would need to do to improve. Now what's interesting about this is he hasn't actually seen me swing the club left-handed. He's just got those 6 data sheets that are scrolling across your screen now to work with. So he's got ball flight, strike data, and then those 2 tables of data, one for the 6-iron and one for the driver. And interestingly, his responses really help shape where I'm going to initially go with this next stage of development and improvement. So the first thing he noticed, and again in conjunction with what I noticed as well, was that I was delivering quite a high handle, which led to that toe down impact. Now obviously bumping the clubs up will be an interesting one, and it'll be interesting to see if I still deliver that toe down line or that high handle based on basically not turning enough through the ball and keeping that handle height level, or more level to where it started in my setup. Obviously he doesn't know that these clubs weren't custom fitted, so he's just basing his knowledge on what he can see. But it will be interesting to see if I have the skill, once I've moved these clubs, to actually deliver the club more level. He also commented about the shallow angle of attack contributing to the fins and the tops, and I can see that in conjunction with the lie angle. The middle of the golf club is getting quite a long way away from the ground, and it will be difficult to find that centreness of strike very regularly. With driver, he suggested to hit up more. That should hopefully straighten the path out a little bit, and that's certainly something that I'm going to take on board. I noticed that when I did stand a bit further away from the ball on those 20 swings, that the lie angle did kind of increase. We got up to sort of 5s and 6s toe up, which is nearly where I want to be with driver. Driver is going to be a really important club if I'm going to continue to see improvement, because it just gets me that first shot down the fairway. My chipping and my putting is okay. Certainly my aiming is brilliant through my aim point. I've noticed that my aiming is excellent, and when I do strike the ball where I am intending to go, the putts are pretty good. I have a bit of an issue with aiming on putting, but putting is a slightly separate skill that I'm going to tackle in another video. That is definitely for another time. So guys, lots and lots for me to work on. Obviously I've got the super speed stuff coming up, which I'm really excited about. I've got to keep getting to grips with these clubs. Certainly going to change the lie angles before I play next time, and see if that makes a difference. Keep testing, trying things out, experimenting, repeating the testing, and see what happens. This is the best way to learn. Get some feedback, get some good info, get some opinions from people around you, and improve. So what's next on Project Left? Obviously got to move those irons. That's going to be key number one. I've got a really interesting video coming for you guys on Wednesday night about my goals for Project Left. I've asked some of the club members here at Bury, some of you guys down the lens on social media, what you think I should be doing, what goals and challenges you'd like to set for me. So check it out, Wednesday night, 6 PM, the goals video. So guys, that's another episode of Project Left done. Thank you very, very much for watching. The guys that subscribe, thank you very much. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you do it. It helps Adam and I out massively, and it means that you get all of our content in your inbox as soon as we release it. So that's another episode of Project Left done. I'm Simon, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.